Hi everybody, thank you for coming today. My name is Lynn Newton. I am the art teacher here at OPA and this will be my 7th year teaching here. I'm going to be speaking today about ideal learning environments for gifted learners, and this is pertaining to OPA specifically. There are a lot of different ways of creating great learning environments for students, for gifted learners, but we have chosen in this school to do it these 3 methods here. Gifted and talented students do thrive in a lot of different ways, a lot of different places, but they do need specific kinds of teaching. And so a general classroom teacher may or may not have had the education and knowledge given to him or her about how to create a great environment, so that this is just something to offer a few ideas, a little bit of help, a little bit of insight into how this can happen effectively. First of all, I want to talk about culturally responsive environments. We need to be able to create a space where all the students can be their authentic selves. Sometimes we don't want them to be too much of their authentic selves, but we want them to feel comfortable and feel like this is their space. So we want to think about a few ideas in driving that. First of all, whose voices are heard in this space and whose aren't? What rules or expectations are stated or unstated? Who is empowered and who isn't? Who has a sense of belonging and who may not? Consider these things carefully and bring your ideas to your students to solicit their input. The best way of doing this is through classroom meetings. Best done if they're pretty much daily, that every day you have a specific time where you can address classroom issues and be able to talk through misunderstandings and ways things could be better, things that went great, give the kids affirmations, help them learn to give each other affirmations. Cultural inclusiveness, is really important to be thinking about at all times. We all come to everything we do with our own cultural biases, and they might be family biases, they might be location biases, they may be cultural biases, but we all have them. When I got married, I married a man who communicated in the Portuguese Mediterranean style of language, which was loud, with arms flailing and over top of everybody else's voices. My own family, we did not treat each other like that at all. I like to think that we were civilized. One person would speak, the next person would speak, the third person would speak. We'd all take turns and we'd listen to what the other person had to say. My husband's family was not like that at all. So when we started living together, all of a sudden his loudness and his adamance about everything became really intimidating to me. And I felt not heard. And it was a cultural difference. It wasn't because one of us was right and one of us was wrong, but I just felt not heard, and he felt not listened to. So we had to work through that. Those were just our own cultural biases that we had coming into our marriage. So our goal within the classroom should be to include each student's culture and its contribution to the group. And remember that this is an ongoing process. Don't ever think that you've achieved it or that you've worked. It will come. It's an ongoing process. So our first topic is, our first environment that we're going to speak about is peer level acceleration groups. In recent years, research has shown that putting kids together of similar ability levels is much more productive in groupings than trying to mix them up and having a range of abilities in one group, hoping that they'll all help each other out a little bit. It doesn't work. The advantages to this are having acceleration groups within the classroom of exclusively gifted learners will help them feel acknowledged and help them grow more quickly. They can reduce the condescension on the part of the gifted students. I can't believe you don't know that yet. And the level of frustration on the part of the general population. Oh, you're just stuck up because you're smart. We've all heard it. There will also be little opportunity to enlist gifted learners into tutors, which is to everyone's benefit, really and truly. Environment 2 is tiered lessons. Tiered lessons start with each lesson, everybody's at the same point, and as they master the first level, they go on to the second level. As they master the second level, they go on to the third and continue going until the time is up and they can continue learning, and each student ends up at the level that they are able to accomplish. The advantages of tiered learning in a classroom. First of all, each student is growing. Second, each student is moving forward at the pace they need to move. There are some kids we can push and some kids we can't, and some kids we have to allow to run ahead and some kids we have to carry along, and we know that. And this gives the students those opportunities. Early finishers don't. They keep going. Few things are as frustrating as just getting everything laid out and sitting down with the people who need you the most, who are struggling the most, and that one student standing next to you going, "I'm all done. What do I do now?" You just want to bang your head against the table, don't you? Well, now you've got more work for them to do. They can keep going in the same topic. This allows the teachers more time to remediate with struggling students, and the gifted ones are not being disruptive. And gifted learners have the opportunity to explore subject matter more deeply after mastery, which is super important for them. They need to be able to just move forward in this creative flow, and most classroom lessons don't really provide that opportunity for them, and so this kind of teaching does. The third environment is the pull-out classroom. So we have a pull-out classroom for gifted learners. Emily Dent has a schedule for all the grade levels, and she pulls the kids out on a particular schedule. You'll know what that is, and brings them into a classroom that is designated for gifted students. In that classroom, the learning is mostly student-driven. It is based on the student's special interests, and she just allows them to learn and grow and do the things that gifted kids do naturally. So advantages to a pull-out classroom. So this truly becomes a safe space for gifted students. Having safe space lowers anxiety. It gives the gifted learners an outlet. It puts them among peers and makes them feel part of a community. Super important for everybody, isn't it? When the rest of the class is still learning their repetitious stuff, which there's a huge amount of repetition in a classroom, you don't have the gifted one going, "We've already done this, I know this already." You can just teach the kids who need to do it. And within this closed environment, gifted learners learn what makes them tick and why they think the way they think, and they can do that without the scrutiny of others and being challenged by them. Social emotional conclusion. So all through the presentation, I talked about advantages including social emotional concepts. And that's for a very good reason. Gifted learners understand from a very early age that they are different. They don't have a name for it because 4- and 5-year-olds don't have all the vocabulary, but they know that they're different, that they think different and respond to things differently than their peers. Acknowledging and helping gifted little ones move right into a gifted program quickly really benefits them because it gives them that sense of belonging. It helps them understand why they are thinking the way they are thinking, and it gives them the ability throughout their lives to understand that what they're thinking is just different from others, and it's not bad, it's just different. Gifted learners compare themselves to others, but they're comparing themselves to adults. They're not comparing themselves to the other students because they know they're different from the other students. So they're looking at the adults, they're comparing themselves to the adults, and they feel like they fall short. And that can lead to self-image issues. So let's put them in a place where they can compare themselves or to other like-minded students and understand what they have and what they can do. And how students view themselves impacts classroom performance. If they feel bad about themselves, you will know it in some way. You will know. And that it will not be pleasant for anybody. So let's give them a place where they view themselves well. The NAGC, National Association of Gifted Children, has put together a list of standards for gifted children. The state of Florida also has a list of standards for gifted students, and they're entirely different from each other. The NAGC really focuses on the social emotional growth of gifted learners. Because if a gifted learner grows appropriately, socially and emotionally, they will be able to fulfill their potential. And really that's our goal for every student, is to help them achieve their potential. So we don't want our students to feel like this meme when they are adults. This meme has 38,000 likes. So a lot of people feel this way. Thanks so much for coming today, and my next slide is just a few of the resources I use to put this together, and please feel free to come to me at any time and ask any questions, or ask Emily any questions that you might have about how to better create a learning environment that's positive for your gifted learners in your classroom. Thank you.